For $9.95, get a bottomless Coke. For $9.95 at Wimpy. $9.95, get a bottomless Coke at Wimpy.
Wimpy, enjoy every moment. Terms and conditions apply.
What we did is we had a limited budget, and Wimpy wanted to get their message out there. So we wanted to find an extremely entertaining way of getting the offer through to the public, the promotion. But on top of that, we wanted to get the offer on everyone's tongue. We actually wanted to start a jingle, and the offer was in the jingle. So I think what we tried to do was, when we started to initialize it, we could have just done a TV campaign, or we could have done a couple of billboards, or we could have done a radio campaign driving people to the offer and trying to drive them into store. So a bottomless Coke is kind of a sexy proposition to go with. You know, it's kind of a sexy thing. You can drink as much Coke as you want, which is kind of cool. So we thought it might be quite a clever thing to do is to try and use two media's channels to feed off each other and amplify the one. Now, if we were just on radio, the campaign wouldn't have worked, okay? Because they would have just heard the jingle, but they wouldn't have got the entertainment value of it. So then we thought, what if we had to build a campaign that was first born on radio, as a very uncreative jingle. It was a basic jingle that probably doesn't really break through at all into the market, has got no entertainment value, and therefore doesn't drive brand affinity. But then a week or two later, we then seed it further on TV with a TV campaign. Now, that's nothing new. But what we thought this time is, why don't we try find the same radio listeners that are on radio, we would find them on TV as well. So we could let them, in their morning, hear it on the radio. In the afternoon, on their drive home, they could hear it on the radio. When they sit in front of their televisions, we then amplify the message, and we give the entertainment value, and they go, oh my God, I heard that today on the radio. So what we thought we would do is try to do a campaign that would live off each other and leech off each other, backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. So what we did is, on TV, there are two commercials. The first commercial that the country has seen, these two young boys, the one kid walks in with a donkey's head. We don't know why he walks with a donkey's head, but you know, the youth of today is the only thing I can say about that. And they sit down at a table, and we had to find really good cast. And what the guys would say is, sure, they look at the menus or whatever like that, and they say, have you heard that offer on the radio? And the guy goes, well, what offer on the radio? And he goes, well, that offer that goes, and he would repeat the exact basic jingle that we hear on the radio coming out of his lips, but in an extremely animated and entertaining way.
Man, I'm thirsty.
We should get that offer from the radio.
For $9.95, get a bottomless Coke. For $9.95 at Wimpy. $9.95, get a bottomless Coke at Wimpy.
Whoa.
$9.95, get a bottomless Coke at Wimpy.
It's very hard to break through on radio these days. It really is, because people get quite bored. There is so much messaging. So we got the client to go down to one single-minded thing, which is just for $9.95 you can get a bottomless Coke at Wimpy. End of story. Drive it on TV with a entertainment piece, which links back to radio, and that's how we would drive the two. So we planned the media so that consumer would consume the radio jingle on day one. That evening, he would consume the TV commercial at night, and the next day, he would consume the radio jingle again, and he would remember the funny TV ad when he's sitting in his car. So we thought that was quite interesting. If we missed out anyone, both were able to work separately. So that was a really important thing, because if you have a radio ad that needs a second part to it, and you don't give the consumer that second part, then your campaign falls apart. So each one had to stand alone. I think if you're just on radio, your ads can be really funny. The people can resonate with the ad well. They can remember it. They can fall in love with the radio campaign, like you can do on TV. The same thing. If you've got a really good TV ad, you can get that factor. But we were wondering if there was a better way, by combining the two together and amplifying the message, we could get a far better entertainment value for the viewer and for the listener listening to this thing, and therefore it would dock in their mind a lot more significantly, and they would remember that offer a hell of a lot more. So sales will tell us. I don't think this is anything new. I think the world's been doing it for a hell of a long time, campaigns that run on radio and run on TV. I think what's just new about this is there is a gimmick attached to it, where you are able to enjoy a second half, a second part, and on TV, or vice versa on radio. And I think the two just work hand in hand and just produce a better campaign which resonates in the market a lot stronger.
Man, I'm thirsty.
You should get that drink from the radio.
What is that, Mummy?
For 9.95.